That's where the problem has now started to arise. Because we've standardized this type of installation, we've also standardized the risk associated with it. Now, in a previous video, I talked about, is an IP65 consumer unit actually rated at IP65? And I mentioned that it is. Okay, of course it is. However, once you drill a hole in it, that completely changes it, and the way you test IP65 units with jets coming from all different directions for a sustained period of time, etc., etc. It's impossible to repeat those tests on site. No matter what you do, you are likely going to suffer ingress at some stage of that board's life. Now let's park all of that. Let's park thermal derating factors, because I could do a whole video on that, and I actually have done a few in the past, okay? Let's just take it from a practicality and compare it like for like. If you were to install an outdoor socket, standard 13 amp outdoor socket, okay, which we've come accustomed to calling an IP65 socket, and I think that's a lot of the problem, right? We fit an IP65 socket, IP65 consumer unit, they're the same, right? We fit them both outside. Think about the challenges you face with an IP65 socket. So you fit an IP65 socket that draws less than 13 amps irregularly. And if you go back to that socket within a year or two, what do you find within the enclosure? Without fail, you will find moisture, sometimes moss, insects, all sorts of things. And you can talk about you putting a drain hole in, you can talk about putting these different glands in, all these other things, okay? And for an IP65 socket, we're going to these lengths to worry about the moisture ingress within the unit. That's fine. Yet on an IP65 consumer unit, we don't even ask the question. Now, let me put some facts to you, okay? And these are some I Googled earlier. Now, I know you shouldn't believe everything you read on the internet, but I think these are fairly solid. The average temperature in 2023 across the winter months, okay, was 2 degrees. Now, that includes night and day. So the average temperature of each day during the winter months last year was 2 degrees. The average running temperature of an RCBO in the UK, now bear in mind some brands do run a lot warmer than others, okay, but the average temperature is 38 degrees. Okay. If you put something that is running at 38 degrees in an enclosed environment where the ambient temperature is 2 degrees, what are you going to find on the inside of that enclosure? Moisture, an awful lot of moisture. Now, let's add some real world into this. When do most people charge their vehicles?